How you doing? Welcome along to Chesil Beach. Yet again. Anyway, you join me here on Chesil Beach. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. So I'm not going to be casting every 5 minutes, sticking out black lug and blue lug, because there is absolutely millions of whiting and pouting about. And that will break me. As you've seen from previous videos, I know I'm all about effort, but sometimes you've got to admit defeat and just sit it out. So today I'm going to be using some live bait rigs, hope to catch a whiting. So firstly, you save loads of money on bait. And then secondly, you've got a chance of a massive fish. The unfortunate thing about it is you could get a dogfish on your live bait rig, which unless you get poor beagles or taupe or common skate, which you don't get here, you've got no hope. So it's a bit of a chance game, but it's definitely better than winding in every 3 minutes with 4 whiting on a pennel. I'm going to set up, get rigged up, put some baits out there, and when I join you in a minute, we should be sat here nice and relaxed watching the rods. As stated in the intro, I'm going to be using what they call stinger rigs or live bait rigs today. There's absolutely millions of pouting and whiting. As soon as you chuck it in, the rod taps. So my intention is to hook one up, get it out there, let it kick around and stuff, and when a mighty cod comes along and nails it, I want to be in a position so I can hook it. You probably all had it when you're fishing. You get nailed by a whiting, and then your rod hoops over, and then you bring it in and the whiting's just like smashed to pieces with a massive eyes on it, where it's just been mullered, but the hooks are inside the whiting. So the way I counteract this is, as before, standard rig for me, 6 ounce lead today because there's not much tide, splashdown, 120 pound rig body, bead, pulley bead, bead, swivel, down to a 90 pound trace, and this is where the magic is. So it's a pennel, so I've got my circle hook, I've got my tubing on, and I've pulled the knot of the bottom hook up inside the tubing so it brings it next to the circle, and I've added a little bit of insulation tape just to stop it moving. The last thing you want is a whiting to be on there and spinning and it unhooks it and it's out here somewhere, so when the cod comes along it misses your circle hook. So I add a little bit of insulation tape. As soon as a whiting takes that, bosh, look at that, cod sweets. I've just got a quarter of a black on there. Saves you using all your bait. Just leave it out there for about an hour, because obviously, as I stressed before, sometimes you can get a dogfish, so you don't want to sit on it all day and then bring it in at night and you've just got 2 doggies on your rods. So I'm going to put one out on each rod. It saves me running up and down the beach, put my ratchets on, sit in my shelter, relax. If I get a fish, it's going to be a good one. Let's get it out there. Another great thing about this rig, you've got hardly any toe from the bait. Look how neat that is, and look at that circle hook. If any whiting or pouting take that and a cod comes along, it's getting nailed. Let's get it out there. It slipped on my thumb. There's my beautiful rig gone. Let's get set up again. Beautiful. Oh, anyway, let's try again. Look at that. Just half a black on there. Bind on like normal with elastic. Loop through the circle hook. Let's try again. The key is to be patient. It's a bit of a gamble. As I mentioned before, I could get a bite on both. I could be double doggy. Obviously I'm not going to catch on that. So what I do is just leave it an hour. Sometimes you bring in a dogfish, so you've saved wasting your time. But most of the time you bring in two perfect whiting or a painting with a hook, circle hook right next to their nose. But it's a chance you take. We're about, let me just check, 2 hours before high. Prime time. Not a breath of wind. 50 mile an hour gust yesterday. It's mental. Something's definitely wrong with the planet. Anyway, I'll leave you to enjoy the rods. Right, I've got a bite on my left rodlet. So the key is now to leave that left hand rod. I've got a bite. What I need to do every now and again is tighten it up, because like I always explain, you can't have it slack, and sometimes a whiting will break you out. See, I've got a fish on there. There you go. That's a perfect whiting bite. So that's the left rod hooked up to a whiting, hopefully. Wait for the right one to go, and then we're in business. That was the waves then. Every now and again you get a roller. I've got my rods up nice and high. Yep. Right, so I'm just going to tighten that left one up there, it's gone slack. Yes, waiting on there. Trouble is, he's slacking me off. Could be a cod. Oh no. This is where you got to, I don't know what to do. Got a 6/8 lead on both. The good thing is, we know we've got a fish on the left hand rod. Hopefully, it's a whiting. The trouble is, at the moment, the whiting are all over a pain. But I'm going big. Definitely a fish on that one. So you just got to sit on your hands at this point and just wait for the rod to hoop over. Anyway, I'll bring you back. Well, that's the first hour down live baiting. So I'm going to bring them in now. This is when you wind them in and they come in with like 2 pristine, amazing live baits. But that's a chance you take. Anyway, I'll bring them in. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at that bad boy. Oh, that is a cod sweet. I'm not sure if you know, but when fish attack another fish or feed, they take it from the head to stop it swimming off. But sometimes they hit it on the side and they spin it, depends what fish it is. So when that goes in, the circle hook would hopefully just get the cod or the big conger straight in the kisser. But well, anyway, at least I know the rigs work. Just a chance you take. That could have been a doggy, or I could have had no bait. Anyway, I'm going to get this little fella back. We'll get the rods in the water. Second cast, fresh baits out there. Let's hope for a hook up. It's a great feeling when both rods are tapping away. Before, unfortunately, as you've seen, I just had one pout in. So it's just a balancing game. I'm really pleased you're enjoying my videos. It's just me out fishing. I don't want to be a superstar. I'm not into all that. I just love fishing, love coaching fishing, and yeah, just love it. And thanks for all your comments, people messaging me, people coming through. Oh yes, slack line. Oh, it's slack line. I gotta put the camera down. Trouble is I got a light bait rig. Well, it's about half an hour before high water now, and I haven't had a fish. Well, I have. I've had a python. But I'm going to sit it out. I'm going to fish with the live bait rigs and just wait for that monster. It may not come, and this might be a boring video. Well, more boring than the others. But it just shows you a different way to fish Chesil when there's lots of bait fish about. But could be a poo or bust situation. I could be getting a bite every cast if I change my method. But I'm just happy to sit it out, sit in the shelter, chill out and let the whiting do all the work. And this is definitely, as you probably all know, the way to catch a monster on Chesil Beach. I think I've definitely got a whiting on the right hand rod, or a fish. The left hand rod hasn't really moved yet. I've got a quarter of an hour, they've been out there 45 minutes, and I'll have them in, get some fresh baits on and get them out. All we need for it to hoop over. Cod on. Here's one I lost earlier. So when I had that crack off, when my thumb slipped, as you've seen, I don't like leaving stuff out there, so I had a few casts on my mate's spare rod, and I managed to locate my rig, all my leader, my line, so I can dispose of this properly, and I haven't left anything out there. Unfortunately, we do leave stuff sometimes, but 90% of the anglers I know try their very best. If you can get it back, get it back. And I've got my rig back. Woohoo! Anyway, let's get back to the fishing. It's pretty slow, but I've got a couple of whiting out there. Hopefully something's going to come along, smash them up. So have you ever banged your shin on a coffee table? You know that sick feeling you get? It's about the same as that. Oh, oh my days. When your luck's not in, your luck's not in. That is exactly what you want, people. That right there. Never mind. This whiting gets a second reprieve to live another day. I'll take him off, put him in the bucket. He's quite lively. That is what you need. A cod biscuit. Here I am. Yes, I know it's dark. I just thought I'd give it another hour into dark. It's been pretty poor. But as with Chesil Beach, as you probably all know, it only takes a second. Bang! 20 cod. I don't think it's going to happen tonight. I'll give it another hour and just see how it goes. It's a beautiful evening, so I'm making the most of it. Just getting down to low water. It's a small tide anyway, so our chances are steeped against us. But as I said before, it's Chesil and you never know. This is the beauty of live baiting. I'm not running up and down the shingle, unhooking whiting in doggies. Just sat here, chilling out, ratchets on. That left hand rod needs tightening up. Just catching on the waves. What? If I get one, it'll probably hoop over anyway. Hopefully I'll be back with a fish. Look at me, I'm like a floating head. Anyway, that's how to live bait on Chesil. Sometimes it's a little bit better than that. No, that's how it goes. I'm sure some of you have done that before, but if you haven't, I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe get out and try it yourself. Obviously, you limit the amount of fish you catch, but if you do get one, generally it's a good one, and that's the way I roll. My name's Wayne, thanks for joining me on Chesil Beach, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers!